Hello stamping friends, it's Jackie Bolhuis from Klompen Stampers. Today's video is a little bit different. I am featuring a stamp set called Winter Woods that is retiring. It's only available for like another week or so. It will be gone on, I think May 3rd is the last day you can order it. It was always one of my favorites, especially for masculine cards. You know, it's one of those things that I know we all struggle with is masculine cards. This stamp set is awesome. So what I did was I pulled two of my older videos that actually show two different techniques. Easy techniques, because you know me, we don't do anything hard, but two different techniques that you can do with this stamp set to make some gorgeous cards. I've combined those two old videos into this video for you. Now remember, they're a couple years old and there might be a few products in those videos that are retired. I'm not like redoing the videos, I'm just taking the old video. And so if there's a couple of colors or different things that are retired, don't worry about that, but look for the techniques, because I think you're gonna have fun doing this technique and you might just love this stamp set and want to grab it before it's gone. So I hope you see that maybe my video quality's become a little bit better since I filmed those. But anyway, I hope you like the projects. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just kind of say goodbye to you here, and then we'll transition into those two old videos. So we'll do one and then the other one right after it. So it might be a little, I don't know, disoriented a little bit, because there's gonna be like a welcome part and then we'll end it and then we'll have another welcome part. So when it sounds like it's ending, just keep watching because we'll go into the next technique. So I hope you enjoy this old flashback video and the techniques I have to share with you today. So with that, let's just start looking at the old video. We'll see you later. Bye-bye. Hi stamping friends, Jackie Bolhuis from Klompen Stampers. Are you ready for a quick and easy card today? This one is fun, it's quick and easy, and it's masculine, some of the things we struggle with. But I was playing around today, and I have true confession here. You're not seeing my face in this video because, yeah, I might still be in my pajamas. So it's a rainy, yucky fall day here in Michigan, and I got up and I came right to my stamp room and I started playing around with an idea I woke up with in my head. You know, please tell me you guys do that as well. And also please tell me you stamp in your pajamas as well, so I don't feel so bad. But anyway, I wanted to just make a very simple, no layered, clean looking card. And so that's what I did today. I made these four as I was playing around, and I want to show you how I made them and give you some tips in case you need to make some quick and easy cards as well. Now, the key to what I was doing, well, one of the keys, I guess, is I'm using the shimmery white cardstock. Now, you could also use the heavy white, but you want something a little bit heavier than our normal whisper white because there's no layers. This is truly a half sheet of cardstock. So I've already cut my half sheet. Now with both shimmery white and thick, make sure you score it before you fold it. So we're just gonna come over here. I'm using the Simply Scored board, do a score line on there. Now in case you forget, and I forget all the time, I'm trying to drill it into my head, we have a little indent here from scoring. That's the outside. You want to flip this over, and where you have your little ridge is what you're going to fold to the inside. Seems kind of backwards, but that's how you get the nicest, crispest fold on here. Now, before we do our stamping, just to add a little bit more, since I wasn't doing any layers, I decided I was gonna just make some score lines on here. And I did want them to indent down, so that's why I did fold this, just kind of for my own thought process here, to make sure this is the top. So we're gonna open it up. And we're going to come out here and I'm going to go 1/4 inch over. So we originally scored at 4 1/4, so we'll go 4 1/2. Then we'll come out here. Our cardstock's 8 1/2. We'll go into 8 1/4 and make a score line. And then I'm going to turn it. And since we're 5 1/2, we'll come over here to 5 1/4. And I'm going to just score down into my fold line. And then the same thing over here. And it is a little trickier coming over here. Just to get in the position and come right to the score line. So I don't know if you can see that or not, but it just gives me kind of a nice border, kind of the illusion, I guess, of a layer. So we're done with Simply Scored. Let's stick this aside. Now the next thing we're gonna do is do our circle. And this was just done by making a template and then sponging. So, you know, I'm always trying to figure out the quick and easy way to do things. So I just took a piece of computer paper. This is cut 4 1/4 inches wide, so I know it's the width of my card. and I cut it about 6 inches tall. So it's a little bit taller, because what I wanted to do is just lay that on there and fold this over. Now I know you can use Post-it notes and you can use all that fancy stuff. Well, I didn't have Post-it notes big enough, but this way I felt like I could kind of clip it on there, so to speak, and it'll stay put where I want it pretty easy. And then I'm gonna take my circle. This is from the Layering Circle Framelets. You know, the circles, the squares, the ovals, I think are standard tools that you should have in your stamping room. I use them all the time. If you don't have them and you don't have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I'd love if you'd order them from me. I share lots of ideas with them, but like I said, definitely one of those standards. So anyhow, we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna cut this out. I've got my magnetic platform, and okay, you can see my little fold line there. And then I want this, I'm just gonna eyeball it kind of left to right here and up towards the top, about right there, okay? And then we got the 2 plastic cutting plates, and I'll run that through the Big Shot for us. There we go. Now remember, this is just really a piece of thin scrap paper from my computer. So we'll set that all aside. And then we're gonna take our card front here, and remember our little fold? We're gonna essentially just kind of clip that on like so. Because what I wanna do is sponge where my circle is here, and you'll see it better as we start sponging. We've got Balmy Blue ink, and then your stamping sponges, I just kind of grabbed a whole one here. Remember their hole, they're like so. I like to cut them into 6 pieces. So I cut it in half, and then I just use my regular old scissors here, and I just chop these things, cut them like so. Now, after you use them, you can certainly wash them. They'll stay stained, but you can wash them and they're clean, and you can use them over and over. I tend to just kind of keep this for blues and other ones for browns, and you know, whatever works for you on that. Now, you want to, as you're sponging, you need to be very careful to hold our little mask down well. You might get some inky fingers, but that's okay. And I like to just kind of sponge. I start out real light, and I'm going inward from my mask, okay, from our paper, and I'm rubbing it inward. By going inward like that, that keeps your mask, or it keeps that ink from sneaking down underneath there. So we're just gonna go around. You can get this as dark as you want. I try to not make it real solid. I want a little bit kind of almost white left on the inside. So we'll get a little bit heavier over on this side. Now you can, be careful, hold it down there good. You can rub a little bit more to get it darker. Okay, just, you know, it's all kind of, don't worry about your fingers getting inky, and then just rub along those edges. But now you can see how I'm kind of getting darker over here. We want it to show a little bit of depth because of, especially with no layers on our card. So get the sponging how you want it. This comes off. There is our nice, perfect circle. And then all we need to do is grab a couple stamps and a black ink pad. Okay, I still love my archival black that Stampin' Up! Used to sell. They don't sell this one anymore, but any black you have is fine. Ink up really good. We want a nice juicy black pad here because we want a really nice dark image. We're using the trees from Winter Woods stamp set. Oh, I love, 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 love this stamp set. Love these trees. But now when we ink up here or press down, I want to give it some good pressure. This would be a good one to do your Stamparatus with as well, just to make sure you get some really, really good pressure on there. So there's our trees. And then I've got a greeting from Friendly Expressions. I thought, you know, masculine cards we struggle with. This is a nice masculine one. And life is tough, but so are you. Wanted to make sure I didn't stamp this upside down because I've been known to do that. And there we go. There is our no layer quick and easy card with some sponging on it. Let's take a peek at the other ones I did. I used the birch trees here, okay? And you can see the scoring around the end there. And then here's the pine tree. So all of these were out of this Winter Woods stamp set. Now this is in the holiday catalog, so we don't know if it's gonna be available beyond December. So if you like trees and you like masculine cards, great one to grab. And then I hauled out my old sheltering tree because I thought, boy, that was perfect on there as well. So I hope you like this simple sponging idea. If you have any questions, let me know. I'll have a link down at the bottom that'll take you to the blog post that has all the information you need if you want to make this card. All the supplies I used, things you need to order if you don't have them already. I'd say the card recipe, but the card recipe is pretty simple. It's truly 8.5 by 5.5 piece of cardstock. Just make sure you're using one of your heavier. But this is the card we're making today, and it is using this absolutely stunning Winter Woods stamp set. You know what? It may have Christmas greetings in it, but forget about the greetings, because you can use this with any other greeting sets you have. But these trees are incredible. And I've got a fun technique I want to share with you today to give you kind of a watercolor look. So let's go ahead, flip the camera down, and let me share my card with you. I had so much fun making this card, and I guess I was a little obsessive. I had to go ahead and play with all different colors. But like I said, we're using the Winter Woods stamp set. I love this image, absolutely love it. And I love that one and that one. But great stamp set. If you haven't picked it up already, make sure you do so while the holiday catalog is still active through the end of this month, because you're going to want this. Great for all seasons, and especially for those masculine cards. But isn't that beautiful? I'm going to show you how I did this technique and then give you a few other tips for making the card. Now, since we're using water, it's critical that we use either watercolor paper or shimmer white. Shimmer white's really my favorite. I don't know if you can see, it's got a little sparkle to it, but it's coated so that the water doesn't the paper doesn't fray up when you put water on it. So that's my choice when I use water. And I've got my tree stamp already mounted here on a clear block. And what we're going to do is we'll use Cajun Craze for this one. And I'm going to take my ink pad and I'm going to ink it up upside down here. And I'm going to just get the tops of those trees. And if we go down on those trunks a little bit, it really doesn't matter that much. But ink that up good with this Cajun Craze. Then I'm going to take the thick end, the brush tip of my early espresso marker. You could really use any marker for this. And I'm going to start at the top here, and I want it kind of thin coming down and then fill in that trunk. So kind of thin and get that trunk going, and do that to get this brown on all those trunks. Now, here's the fun part. I just have a little spritzing bottle with water in it, and move this so we can try to not get everything all wet here. And I'm going to spritz this about 3 good times. And I'm, a fair, maybe 12 inches away. Oop, that might be a little bit too much on that. The thing with this technique, every single one you do turns out completely different. So practice a little bit. Yep, I knew I got way too much in the middle there. But you know what? I think it's going to be really pretty anyway. Like I said, they'll all turn out completely different. We just need to let that dry, and then we'll be able to finish off our card. This one was Poppy Parade. Then we had to try some crushed curry on this one. And with this one, I inked up the whole thing with just the early espresso ink. And it was funny because you could almost see a few green tones in there. I don't know where, maybe my stamp was a little dirty or that brown came out with a little green. I don't know. But we'll set that aside. We'll set this aside. And now a couple other tips for making our card. These words are never enough, come from the Rooted in Nature set. Now, I know many of you have picked this up because a bunch of you did this with my Stamps in the Mail and got the tutorials and card kit with it. Perfect for masculine cards once again, and it pairs so well with this. If you had both of these stamp sets, you're set for masculine cards forever. But I love the words to combine with the trees on this one. So I've already stamped on just a scrap here, and because these words are so thin, I found just using my scissors really was the easiest way to cut these out. Usually I'm kind of a stickler. I like to use my paper cutter to make sure that everything is perfectly straight. But I found when something is so thin, number one, it's hard to do with a paper cutter, and number two, you can't even notice if it's a perfect cut or not. Now, when I went to put this one together, and we'll use the Poppy Parade here because our other one's still drying, this was so thin, I would have had to cut dimensionals super, super small because I wanted it to pop up just a little bit. And I decided, well, heck, let's use glue dots. These worked perfect. I don't know if you can see the glue dot on here or not, but I actually took my fingernail and I kind of folded it in half, rolled it over a little bit, and then stuck this on there and did the same thing. I just did 2 of them. One kind of, and it'll stick to your fingernail like that. Yeah, we'll get another one here. And then we'll flip this over, we'll pick it up. But I found that that glue dot gives it just a little bit of dimension. So it's not, you know, so super flat down on our card. Look at that. And then a bow, I use the baker's twine. And what I like to do with baker's twine is double it up. Okay. And if it's kind of curly, just run your finger on it a few times. That'll straighten it out for you. Go ahead and just tie a bow. You know, baker's twine or linen thread, both of those I use all the time. I think I call this baker's twine. This is the linen thread. Play around with your bow. I like to pull one a little bit so they're different. Get the bow the size you want. Trim off those ends. And then this glues on best with a glue dot as well. Just go ahead and stick it on there. These glue dots are almost as critical as having dimensionals in my book. And we'll go ahead and just put that at the base of that tree. I think these are a little long. Let's trim those off. And then this piece will be ready to layer onto some other pieces. This piece is 4.5 by 3.25. And then I layered it with an early espresso that was just an 1/8 inch bigger, and then onto soft suede. Added the words again from Rooted in Nature and a couple of the leaves, and there's my nice masculine card. Now once again, down in the description of the video will be a link to the blog post that has the recipe, all the details, and all the supplies I use. But I hope you like this quick and easy technique. It's fun. Like I said, play around. You never know what kind of look you're going to get with it. As long as I got you here, I'll show you one other card I made using the combination of these two stamp sets. Super simple. I just stamped that row of trees twice across there in crumb cake, so it was pretty light. Put early espresso, my thinking of you, on top of it. And then the same thing on the inside. Very simple, but a great masculine card once again. I love these trees. I love this stamp set. So as always, if you have questions about this stamp set or anything else, make sure to let me know. It's a great set. Add it to your order next time. Speaking of ordering, if you don't already have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I would love to be your demonstrator. If you don't have a Stampin' Up! Catalog, let me know. I'd be happy to send you one. I'd be happy to answer all your questions and help you with any needs. So thanks for tuning in, guys. I appreciated it. If you have questions, let me know. Like I said earlier, I'm here to teach you how to make quick and easy cards. No question is stupid. All questions are how you learn. So ask away. Until I get to stamp again with you next time, have a stamp happy day.